And you are introduce yourself because you're the newest member. Technically, it's a continuation of the No Sleep tours. We're back on the road, but we needed a woman and we needed a minority because a Jewish Israeli.
I'm not bisexual though, so you're gonna deal with that.
Well, all right. So that was the show.
Unfortunately straight.
That's all we were gonna do. God damn it! All right. So you are. Where are you from, Liza?
Ukraine, from the country that is soon to have no name.
Right. Do you want to introduce your full name before we have to Americanize you?
How much time have you got?
We're going to do this for about 45 minutes, but you're wasting a lot. So why don't you introduce yourself?
And so it's Yelizaveta Shirobokova. For short, it's Liza. For very short, I'm going to tell you off the microphone in private.
For very short?
There is a very short version of my name.
And where are we right now? What city are we in?
San Luis Obispo.
So you've been in the United States for...
Around 10 months. Just as long as the war is happening, that's as much as I am enjoying Californian sun. And
you basically, when we met, you had only ever been to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Because we met while I was touring.
Yes, we met in Los Angeles, and that's all the United States I've seen at the time.
And then you went to New York City.
Yeah. I dive in. I pick my battles wisely.
You went to the two worst cities in the United States.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Can get worse than that.
And then you visited the best one.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Visit Cleveland, Ohio.
And Columbus, Ohio.
I thought we'd throw a curveball in there. I thought, in LA, you have the most gorgeous people in the country. In New York, you have some of the richest. You have them in there. And then in Cleveland...
You just have people.
You just have people. You just have people. You got drugs... You got a good, our sports teams aren't actually any good.
I didn't see a single person wearing a T-shirt.
What do you mean?
Although I did, the sports T-shirt. Although I have seen a lot of flags. I think Cleveland, Ohio is the place where I have seen the biggest amount of flags per capita.
What do you think when you see a Ukraine flag outside of like a house?
Outside of a house?
Yeah. Do you assume that you're Ukrainian?
No.
What do you think about them?
Posers.
Do you feel supported?
No.
What's your solution in one sentence?
Stop putting up flags.
Oh, no, I meant to the war. How are you going to solve it? One sentence?
With one sentence?
Mm-hmm. Hang on, I'm Vladimir Putin. Let's do an exercise.
Am I allowed to carry weapons?
No, you have to solve this peacefully, verbally. The UN way. By letting the soldiers die. But this is, if you're meeting with Putin, you can't assassinate him. You have to have a conversation with him. So let's go back.
Okay, it will be very hard. He's a very powerful man.
Hello, my name is Vladimir Putin. I am very tall, and I want your country in my borders.
I think I'll start with asking Mr. Putin, do you feel good about yourself?
Every day I wake up with the supreme pleasure of being a Vladimir Putin.
So you're a fan of art?
Has he ever been seen with a woman?
Yeah, it's interesting you ask. He was actually married.
Really? Does he have kids?
He does have kids. I don't remember how many, but definitely 2.
Are they hot?
I don't know how they look like. I'm not sure if anybody knows how they look like. But there was a long distance conspiracy theory that was going on about Putin. So the theory goes that the Putin that is doing things right now is a double of the Putin that was the one who solved Russia's problem back in the 90s.
What was Russia's problem in the 90s?
The guy before...
Beating wives? They didn't fix that at all. Why do Russians beat the shit out of their wives so much?
Well, maybe because if it was real Putin, he would have fixed it. But since they got the fake double one, and that's why his wife left him, they divorced. It doesn't happen very often in presidency of any president that they get divorced.
Is his wife still in the public?
No, she disappeared right after it. But there was some sort of article, allegedly, that she said that this is not her Vladimir, not her Volodya. It's the other guy. That's what she said.
Why do Russians beat their wives so much?
I don't know. I'm Ukrainian. We beat our husbands.
Hell yeah. Cheers to that. What kind of sparkling water are you drinking?
Passion fruit and something else tropical.
It's better than mine.
One of those fruits we don't get in Ukraine very often.
Did you look up any articles for me this week?
I did.
What do you got?
You're going to like this. Do you know the name of the dictator of Chile? the one from military junta from the 70s. Augusto starts with
Pinochet?
yeah.
Yeah.
So listen to this.
Yeah.
He had this method of dealing with political prisoners, and it started like a month into his.
I'm going to ask really quick. Is this because I keep talking about torture methods?
No, it's because of the dictators.
Real episode, I think it's 3 of the No Sleep tour.
Did
Our car broke down, which is why there's such a big gap. So we had to stop touring for a while. But I did talk about interesting torture methods. You can also see it on our Instagram. It has about 160,000 views. Slay.
Hashtag slay.
All right, so how would he deal with them? Pinochet?
He would put them in a helicopter, and he started doing this.
Of course. Continue. That's 9/11. That's the original 9/11. It was Chile.
Can you listen?
No.
It leads somewhere.
I know. Sorry.
It's going places.
I'm excited.
It's going fun places.
All right,
Amusing ones.
Okay.
So, he would put them in a helicopter and then fly them on top of the river and then throw them alive in the river or a little tiny pond, whatever water reservoir he would find, and sometimes they would be beaten. Anyway, so this kept on going on.
They were beaten in the water?
No, before. But still, they made sure they're still alive as they fly down the river. And so the very first helicopter was lacking like all the machinery inside and, like the arrows and whatever.
The things
computers
that are required to fly.
That you can check. If you were doing an investigation, you would check. So guess what? After his dictatorship was over, this helicopter was sold by the next government to England, and now it's sitting in Sussex in an amusement park for people shooting lasers.
That actually is very fun.
That's what I wanted you to know.
Do they have like a plaque at the amusement park? Do you think it says...
I'll tell you what it says.
This was used to kill a man with 3 children? No, it doesn't say that at all.
No.
This was used to kill
airsoft. That's how it's called. The ultimate airsoft experience. And a person from an airsoft action magazine quotes, "This airsoft is up there amongst the best, if not the best, that I have had the privilege to visit and review." And they had pictures.
That's hilarious.
So this is a helicopter that has the blood of many politically involved Chileans.
You don't have airsoft nerds in Europe, do you?
I've never heard of it. We have like paintball.
Yeah, it's similar. Airsoft is little plastic pellets.
So it's more painful?
It is, but it's like those nerds are bigger into it. Does it make you feel
more like a man?
I got drunk off Ouzo when I was 14 with my friend and shot a pellet into my parents' LCD TV at the time, and they had to replace it. I felt like a little boy.
How do you get drunk on Ouzo in the United States?
So I was 14.
How often do you find Ouzo for sale?
My parents had a tiny bottle of it in their liquor cabinet.
That's all you need to get drunk on Ouzo?
I knew they didn't drink it. At the time, it was like, what can you steal from your parents' liquor cabinet that you know they're not going to drink? Which, in my parents' case...
Anything?
Yeah, it's
vodka?
It's tough. The cough syrup is basically free. But the Ouzo is, no one's going to notice that. But anything else, game over. I think the first time I got really drunk was off of Don Julio. Have you drank Don Julio? The tequila?
I do. But not in Ukraine. In Ukraine, it was Vanatalin. It was an herbal balsam from Estonia.
Me and my other friend, I had a female friend and a male friend over.
You're being extra careful. Why?
With names?
With names, you might call it.
I guess in the slim event... Oh, no,
how important it is for the story, their gender. Why do you pay so much attention and yet tiptoe around it?
Because I don't want anyone to think I'm a weak beta liberal cuck. It was me and 3 hot women. It was me and 4 hot babes drinking Don Julio alone in my parents' basement.
Were you licking it off their belly buttons?
They were licking it off my belly button. It was in everyone's belly buttons. I have a deep belly button, so you can sip out of there. But it's hairy now, so it's going to get filtered like a whale's mouth. You know how they got those things?
I'm not a big tequila fan.
I'm not either.
Ouzo on the other hand.
I couldn't drink tequila it was like 3 years until I could drink tequila because I got blacked out. It was the first time I blacked out. Vomited everywhere. My buddy Anthony vomited everywhere. Whatever. My buddy Yana, she vomited everywhere, and then I hooked up with her in some way, shape, or form. They probably just made out and then vomited and fell asleep. I always wonder if my parents knew all these things or if they just stopped.
It depends on how early you woke up.
I don't remember. I was blacked out.
Probably they knew.
I was very sick.
If you were a parent and you found this, would you make fun of them or would you pretend it never happened?
I'd gaslight them for sure.
You will?
I'd gaslight the shit out of them.
Why?
Because it's funny.
What exactly is gaslighting?
I answered that earlier.
No, you didn't.
That's gaslighting. Woo! Gaslighting is an overused term nowadays that is basically used by women anytime they get into an argument with their boyfriends, and then they make up the term to make it sound like they're being driven crazy. But the real term of gaslighting is leading you. It's basically leading you astray to make you think you said or did something, or thinking in the wrong manner in a manipulative way to make you feel nuts. And it comes from a movie in the 20s where a woman every day, the man was trying to prove she was insane so he could take her fortune. So every day he would turn the gas in the lamp a little down, and she'd be like, "It's getting darker in here," and he'd be like, "No, it's not." So that's gaslighting.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like how every time
women appropriated this term to make themselves feel better.
White women do it all the time. You'll learn that.
And they are the ones doing it the most.
This is why we have you on the podcast. We needed.
I'm sorry, ladies, but you do.
Gaslighting is what happens every time you look in your wallet and you're $20 short, and then you ask me where the $20 went, and then I go, "Don't you remember you spent it?" But I took it.
Happens every time.
Happens every time.
Thank you for sharing this.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm glad we're on the same page now, and I do remember every single time.
Here's a conversation I was having with a couple of other comics a few weeks ago. I looked up an article, and I don't quite remember how it happened, but I was looking up deaths from eating contests.
What's the statistics?
Well, it's interesting. So, first, what I wanted to know is because here's what we're talking about: eating contests, which are probably not a thing in Europe because there's not enough food, right? An eating contest is
You're
Ukraine.
Thinking about Ukraine.
An eating contest is Ukraine.
Territorially, we're Europe, but politically, we were never allowed.
I think the eating contest in Ukraine is when 8 children from different homes are sent into the same warehouse, and whichever one survives gets to bring home the bushel.
No, you're thinking about Russia.
I don't know.
It's totally other
the difference.
place.
You guys are the same to me.
It's so Soviet Union. I'll keep on doing this, but
so in the U.S., because we have wealth and food, and we're the greatest country on planet Earth, we do to stunt on countries like Somalia and Ethiopia.
Yeah.
We get
notorious.
We get too much food, and we hold a contest to see if you can eat it. It's enough food that would fill 7 distended stomachs in sub-Saharan Africa, but one guy from Illinois eats it all in one sitting. It's a great time. But so like,
is it broadcasted live or is it recorded?
What?
Or can you buy tickets to go and watch other people eat?
This is actually
while eating yourself from the food stand.
God, you're the perfect addition to this. So it's all of the above.
Oh my God!
So we have
it gets better.
We have a national contest. We have hot dog eating contests by Nathan's Hot Dogs, and the top guys are national celebrities: Joey Chestnut and Kobayashi, who's a Japanese guy. They're both thin, and they do
Japanese.
They do a national hot dog eating contest every year, and you win money.
How much?
I don't know. I think it's probably at least 6 figures.
Do you buy your hot dogs, and then if you didn't finish, you pay for them, and if you did, you don't?
Well, a hot dog is like 50 cents, so that's negligible.
Again, if you're about to compete for money in a competition like this rather than poker, you might want it.
To pick your own hot dogs?
For somebody else to pay 50 cents for your hot dog.
Yeah, they do. You're not bringing your own hot dogs. That would be cheating, because what if you hollowed out your hot dogs?
Okay, please keep going.
All right, so that's the national ones. But those are eating competitions. Mm-hmm. An eating challenge is something you do pay for. And you go to, like, a restaurant will have it. Mm-hmm. Maybe, probably not one in St. Louis Obispo, because California, bunch of libs. You go to the Heartland, you go to Ohio, we've got eating competitions, bunch of red-blooded, cholesterol-ridden, close to heart attack diabetic men.
Next time we're in Ohio, I want this. This will be on my top list. I don't want a museum of art.
There's several. So let me describe it. The reason I looked up if there were deaths from the eating challenges is because it's an incredibly painful amount of food. And usually the reward is just your meal's paid for, and then they put like your picture on the wall. Sometimes you get like a gift card, sometimes you get a photo. Now, so the one that I almost did years ago before I moved to California the first time, and I chickened out because I was really worried, was Melt, a grilled cheese place we have, has a 5-pound grilled cheese. It's 5 pounds of cheese.
How much is it in kilos? Is it 10 kilograms? I think, yeah, a pound.
No, a kilo is about 2.6.
Oh.
So it'd be about 2.3, 2.6 kilos. Less kilos equals more pounds.
Ah, that's right, because 1 pound is half a kilo.
Because all I know in Olympic plates, a 45-pound plate is 22-ish Coleco plates. So that's
like a small baby size.
Yeah. Well, that's a
newborn baby size.
A Ukrainian baby size. Here they're born about 8 pounds because they're healthy and they were fed well. They didn't have a Chernobyl reaction 30 years ago.
Fair enough.
So you have to eat in a allotted amount of time an obscene amount of food. So there are like influencers go around doing it, but I mean it's a painful amount. Like you're going to get sick. You're going to be sick the next day. There's people having an annoying good time over there. They don't understand that we're talking about serious shit. All right, I'm gonna go over there and give a piece of my mind. So, I was curious if people had ever died from an eating challenge because it felt like you could eat enough that maybe you'd have a heart attack or your stomach would rupture. Now, what I found is that pretty much all the deaths from eating challenges, boring, are all choking. So I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah, because all of them are timed, right? You gotta stuff yourself quickly.
You gotta eat quick.
Uh huh.
So I want to ask you. There's a couple different eating challenges.
Okay, is it going to be an ABC type of answer?
No, I'm going to give you. There's two.
It's not multiple choice, so I love multiple choice.
There's two I'm going to start with.
Fine.
Because they were both pancake eating contests. One was a Russian in Russia.
Okay.
The other was a hot sorority girl in upstate New York.
Okay.
Okay. So what I realized is you're always at any given point of eating one more away from dying from it. You don't know which one it is, right?
Yeah.
If you're eating, that's first of all, that's most interesting to me. All right. So this she was in Connecticut actually. So she dies in a pancake eating contest. There's a series of questions I'm gonna add to this. She's 20-year-old. Okay, so
well, she's 20. It does get serious now.
Oh, it gets funnier. So how many pancakes do you think it took to kill this 20-year-old sorority girl? She's hot. She's hot.
Are we talking American pancakes, like fluffy ones, or are we talking crepes, like Ukrainian pancakes?
No, these would be American. We would call those fucking crepes.
45?
They don't have a picture of the pancakes.
45?
Okay, you said 45.
45 pancakes.
On the high end. All right, so the amount that she ate was 3 to 4.
3, 2, 4?
Yeah. Which is my favorite part about this article.
Bite?
Which is my favorite part about this article because I looked up 5 different versions of it, and they were all written slightly differently, but every single one reported 3 to 4, meaning the judge didn't give her the 4. He watched her die and was like, "It's about 3.5." They didn't give her the 4.
Oh my god.
It's funny, right?
It is funny.
Now here's the worst part that is all right. So pancake eating contest. What do you think the reward was?
Oh god. A big jar of patisserie cream.
What kind of cream?
Patisserie cream.
What is patisserie cream?
A cream. A cream you make and put it in pastries.
We gotta do a segment where you learn English. It was for charity.
You want to contribute. You eat your way through the society.
I don't know how is that for charity? Do you think it was for like a foundation for kids that need food? And they were like, to raise awareness, we're going to eat 47 pancakes.
Imagine like her posthumous kind of, what her grave plate
It
read.
probably says she couldn't eat pancakes.
She died for
3 to 4 pancakes.
Wait, but what charity was it?
Doesn't say.
They should
It says it's for starving children of Africa.
Of course it was.
No, it doesn't say. All right. Now, here's the funniest part of the article to me. So, again, I read...
Read the Russian one. I bet you it was not for charity.
I haven't gotten to the end of it yet. Of course, the Russians don't have a charity. Their whole country's a charity. Their whole country's a woman's shelter. It's beating the shit out of their... You're kind of wearing a Russian sailor shirt.
I prepared. I wanted to make a good
Russian
first
sailors
impression.
have sex with each other. All right, so here's
My
the other...
grandpa was a sailor, all right?
He was
You watch
Ukrainian.
it, mister. He would sail in Crimea.
I'm...
This is a debatable place.
Nobody knows what these places are. This is so... Wait, hang on. They sued them, and the article alleges that the university did not consider alternative foods, like ice cream or whipped cream, for the contest, which, unlike pancakes, don't turn into a, quote, thick glob of paste, unquote, when they come into contact with saliva. They're only seeking 15 grand? Wow. This is just a mess.
This is the stupidest death ever. You know, like if I had to pick...
Wait till you get to the third.
It's not that the death itself is dumb, it's everything that happened after it. It just makes this death so much dumber.
Police arrived at the event as part of the university's annual Greek Week celebration and found her, quote, not breathing, with, quote, pancakes almost to her teeth.
Everything is an almost in this place.
And
Everything is a maybe.
well, you gotta be specific. And the, quote, glob of pancake passed in her airway.
Glob? They called it a glob?
Yeah. So I have to tell you
Is a
this.
glob the same as a blob?
Yeah,
Is it just a chew
a
paste?
glob is, yeah. Ooh, I just got kidney pain. Whoops.
Ah.
All right, so here's one more. So this is the funniest part.
I am loving this so much.
There's
I love America.
I read through 5 articles. This is the funniest part to me. They put this in the headlines, but I'm going to just give it to you in the body of the paragraph. This goes with the podcast we were listening to yesterday. What does this country love more than guns, gods, and Jesus? The New Jersey native was a junior studying social work and was vice president of her Kappa Delta sorority's community service group. Great. She led the organization's philanthropy, planned Girl Scout events, and worked closely with Cinca at the Newton. This is the wrong thing. Caitlin's father, James Nelson, was a Port Authority officer killed in the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks. The headline of the article is 20-year-old sorority sister who died after pancake eating contest was the daughter of fallen 9/11 cop. Why do they have to include that?
This is so on time. We're 1 month away. I love that you bring this up.
I just think it's the most American thing in the world. Is like, this is a horrible event. This woman died.
They still bring
And
up...
they were just like,
Never forget.
also 9/11.
Yeah.
So, isn't that bad? They were like, if you're not sad enough that this woman choked to death on pancakes, well, now you should be sad because also her dad was an American
And it's
hero.
so sad because she only ate 3 and maybe 4.
Maybe
I
4.
love it. Mm-hmm. I bet
very
she
funny.
had the 5th one inside of her, but
It's very funny.
she didn't have it in.
One of my friends from New York just texted me. He's canceling a show that I was helping him set up because the club, which will not be named, is run like fucking idiots, and I've tried to help, and you're fucking morons. And the owner is a good person, and you're fucking him over.
Some people can be helped.
All right. Here, when I start to Google Russian, my top search is Russian soldier blowing Russian soldier drone. Then it's Russian pancake.
Did you... So, when you were studying this, did you Google specifically something, or...
I Googled deaths of
food?
Yeah, food challenges.
Okay. I love your brain. It
Thanks.
sometimes is very unexpected turns. It's a deep forest.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe autism. All right, pancake winner dies in all-you-can-eat contest. This is the Russian. His name was Boris.
Of course, his name was fucking Boris.
Of course it was. Boris
Goddamn Boris.
Isayyev. Isayyev?
Could be.
He was 48.
No, it doesn't matter. He's not with us.
It's true.
We'll remember him as Boris, the pancake guy.
Boris, the prolific wife beater. He was from West Russia. Okay. He collapsed to his knees.
He will be just the Boris now.
He collapsed to his knees and died on stage to mark the end of the region's...
Could he be more Russian? Oh, please stop.
He dropped... it was a competition to mark the end of the region's Pancake Week.
Yeah, it's before Easter or after or in the... Pancake Week is, we call it Maslenitsa, the butter lady.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What are you celebrating with it?
It's some pagan holiday. I think it's when the winter is about to leave, and it's like this, you're welcome in spring, and that's why you make all this butter stuff.
Right.
And pancakes, and you eat pancakes for 7 days, and then in the end of it, you burn, like you make a lady-looking thing from hay, and then you burn it and dance around it. And I guess in Boris's case, you die right in front of it.
There's a silver
kind of like a Wicker Man.
I was going to say the Wicker Man. There's a silver lining to this. As one witness said, quote, he had really enjoyed the pancakes.
That makes me feel very good for Boris.
But then he started foaming at the mouth and went down like a sack of stones. Yeah.
Was this the direct translation from Russian article?
Yes, that's
I'm
exactly
pretty
what it
sure
is.
it was.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
witnesses,
he was gluten intolerant, probably.
Well, wait till you. All right, so we have.
They don't call it this in Russia.
Well, they just call you a pussy.
Pussy.
Yeah. All right, so the sorority girl.
And that's the only case where your wife beats you.
Right. Well, you can't let her find out.
Mm-mm.
Every time she's about to bake bread, you beat her and you tell her you don't like bread.
You beat her with the bread.
Yeah.
And then you
put her
feed
face
her.
in. Yeah.
Just hot bread.
What movie is that where he's like basically abusing his wife and he shoves food in her mouth? It's a mob movie, right? Rubs on her face. It's not Casino, is it?
I don't know. No, definitely not Casino.
Because she abuses him in that. All right, let me get back to.
She abuses herself and her body.
True, she abuses her daughter. Great film. So,
watched it on an airplane.
Witnesses apparently describe Iziev as, quote, the most active participant in the contest. And,
no
quote,
shit, Boris.
adding that he, quote, ate all the types of pancakes on offer and won fairly. So he won. Now,
he left the winner.
how many pancakes do you think it took him to die? Oh, I should also say these were
Russian pancakes, the crepes.
cream and banana stuffed.
We don't. Nobody does this in Russia. There are no bananas, especially in February.
I don't think you've been back there in a while. So,
I've actually been to Russia once.
how many do you think?
So we're talking crepes now because nobody makes pancakes. We make crepes and call them pancakes still.
This is interesting because the first conversation I had with my other comics about this, I'd assume these were because it says stuffed. So you have to understand, like, when we visit International House of Pancakes, so you can see how Americans eat, those are this thick, stuffed with cream and shit. And they come in stacks of like 3.
For us, we usually make them very thin,
They're like
again,
this.
French
Yeah, I see the
crepes,
picture.
and then you put some stuffing inside, you fold it very cutely in a little pocket, put a little sour cream on top.
Looks like a
you eat it.
quesadilla.
Yeah.
You know what a is it
Blinchik.
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 Have you seen the image of the cat next to the blink cheeks?
No.
I'll show it to you. It's a good image.
It's usually my grandma's face.
Let's wrap this up. How many pancakes?
55.
43.
I said 43 on the previous
first time,
one. I
yeah.
am psychic. I knew it. You always doubt it, but you should not anymore.
43. Which isn't, because again, that means
It's kind
that.
of impressive. I mean, shit, I can eat 15 easy without feeling stuffed. So, I mean,
Right.
for Boris, I'm not impressed.
43, again, it's interesting because that meant his limit was 42.
Yeah.
So anytime he got drunk with his mates and they said, how many pancake do you think you could eat? Be like, 42? Be like, you pussy Boris. You can eat 45. And he got to 43 and then he fucking died.
I bet you his mates were happy.
Bet you his wife was happy. All right.
His children were happy.
God,
too.
he might have been a good person. I don't give a shit. We're allowed to mock Russia now. How you guys doing over there right now? How are things going?
Oh, it's kind of happening.
What's your... Okay, so you've been in America for a little less than a year. You've been to a few major cities. The American experience, the stereotypes you knew of Americans that you've met so far, and you haven't met a ton of what I would call like real Americans. I'd say New York you have closer to it. LA is completely fake.
Yeah, I met polished ones.
Yeah, so we'll see them as we travel. But you have been to Ohio a little bit,
Yeah.
and you've still met people. What do you think's been true so far? What do you think is yet to be true? What do you think isn't true?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest stereotype we have in Ukraine about America is that it's an individualistic country where nobody helps you, and it's a fat country with shit food. Arriving to LA, nobody's fat. Everybody is individualistic to the point of conforming, which surprised me and disappointed me a lot. But we talked about it very often. Other than that, I didn't really... I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say.
LA is the thinnest city in the country.
It's the thinnest in size, and it's the thinnest in depth.
Shout out LA. How you feel about that? Slava.
There you go. Cleveland, on the other hand, I really enjoyed. In that sense of realness. Cleveland.
Shout out.
Shout out Cleveland.
And you saw Columbus briefly.
It's with the same people.
Well, all right, we'll skip that one for a little bit.
You'll cut this.
Yeah.
I did not know why I said
Very
it.
uniquely different people.
I don't know why I said it. Oh God, he got disappointed. I'm so sorry.
I had this little thing on my hand that's now it's dead skin. Isn't that fun?
It's very important for everybody to know.
Isn't that fun?
I feel privileged to know that as well.
How do you feel about your photography so far? What do you do? Photography.
I'm not feeling very inspired because I feel immersed. Because you fucking talk to me all the time. God damn it. I can't be.
Don't break the fourth wall. Talk about your photography.
I like to take photos of things that are present, but also that require me stepping outside of that experience. So it's almost like an incognito watch over things that are mundane, and like it's almost like you zoom into the environment that is in front of you, and you find out geometrical shapes and the bending of the light. Is it good enough for you?
I have a photo on my phone of Steve the cat wearing a shirt.
I want to see.
I think I showed it to you. He's wearing a red Gucci shirt.
The Gucci shirt. No, I have not seen that.
Okay.
I only saw him looking like he's gonna fuck somebody's mother.
Oh, when he's leaning on the chair?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
He kind of has this.
That is the face.
This look.
Yeah.
I like Steve. I like his pride.
Did you ever go on early instant message sites in Europe?
Yes.
How'd that go?
Well, it wasn't in Europe. It was in Ukraine. Shout out Ukraine. It was a local site. It was called Chat ZP UA. ZP is from my hometown, Zaporozhye.
How
the
many
land
people
of
are in
Kazakhs,
Zaporozhye?
1 million people.
Really?
All of them gopniks and workers.
Can you describe
Without jobs. Because Russia bought all the factories and then shut them down.
Wait, they bought them and just shut them down?
Yeah, I mean, some say it was Russians, some say they were Germans, a little bit of Chinese.
Well, why would you buy it and shut it down?
So that nothing is produced. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then they can sell it to you.
They started being privatized in the 90s and then kind of slowly stopped working. And like my hometown is like the biggest industrial production city. One of the biggest ones in Ukraine with like a big port and things like that. I think the steel factory still works. And we also produce the engines for the airplanes. Antonov factory. No, not you gotta chop the Antonov out. This was not what I was thinking about. Totally other name.
Okay. Going forward with the podcast, you don't have to tell me during the podcast when to cut something out.
I will keep telling you,
right,
so
fair.
you remember.
That's all right, because I will forget. So you have 1 million people in your city.
Yes.
You have a local chat AIM.
Yes, it was chat. Oh, it's funny you ask. So, as kids, we just got internet, right? And the internet was, how do you call it? ADHL?
Dial-up?
Yeah, like when it's either your phone works.
Yeah, it's dial-up.
And it does this weird sound when you turn it on and you buy a card. So all we knew what to do with my friend at the time, the only friend.
How old are you?
12, maybe 13. And we would only Google songs like whatever words we can hear of the song and try to find the lyrics to this song. And like System of a Down, that was like my first big band, and I really wanted to know. So like the two of us will sit there and like scream psycho, groupie, cocky, crazy, things like that. And then the other thing we would do for fun would be chat.zpua, which was just for Zaporozhye, for the local people. And it was the one where you don't need to have any photographs or anything. It's the one, like ICQ, it kind of had similar interface, right? And you can use a smile. And, you know, we obviously used the two of our names and put 18 right next to them. and so and so one day...
Did you put your real first name there?
Yeah. But we also used not just like Liza and Ilona. We used like a sweet form of my name, right? Which sounds like Lizechka, which is even worse. It's so tacky. And so we did that. 18. And one person wrote us, and he said some things, and we did not know what he said at all. So I go to my mother, and I ask her, Mom, what is a golden shower and strap-on? And she goes, what are you doing on the internet?
He started with the golden shower and
He
strap
said,
on?
I like golden shower and strap-on.
Oh, he liked to get pegged.
Yes.
He liked to get pegged and
You
pissed
see,
on.
our brains at the time did not think about Googling that first and then asking mother.
Right.
Because I thought he was talking
Did your
about the
mom
weather.
know?
I actually
Did your
thought...
mom know what a golden shower was? You could tell her.
Now that I think about it, I guess she did.
Mm-hmm.
At least strap-on. I'm not sure she knew about golden shower, but I'm pretty sure she knew about the strap-on. But why did you ask me about chats?
I don't remember. I was thinking about it last night about old chat systems. I think it's because on Snapchat, which I never use, there's like two people who use it to message me. I wish they would stop. But
I'll talk to them.
please.
In Russian.
Yeah, that'll help them. But they have an AI bot, and it's like you can talk to about whatever. And I remember AIM, AOL Instant Messenger, had bots you could talk to way back in the day when I was like 9, 10, 11. And you instant message them and mess around and, I don't know, say silly things and it would respond to you.
You were saying there were bots when you were 10?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was such a new thing.
Not at all.
Wow.
Yeah. They were
And it
simpler.
was online, or did you need to download some sort of...
AIM was like texting before there was texting. You just did it from your computer. So
Wow.
like we'd all get home from school and then AIM each other, and you could like flirt on there, and you could have like a little bio. I think I was into the Pixies at the time, so I probably had... In fact, I think I probably had lyrics from Monkey Gone to Heaven in Brown.
Which part of the song? If the devil is 6, then God is 7.
Probably.
And then you put like 666 next to it.
I don't know if I went
I don't
that
know if you
far.
were ever into like a 666 things.
I think it was too cringy even for me. I mean, because I was a pretty hardcore militant atheist, starting from a pretty early age.
Since you were 5. Just like, God is dead.
Once I saw my
killed
brother
him.
die in front of me in that car
You
accident.
read Nietzsche probably when you were 6.
I saw my brother get run over by that car. Actually, that's not true. I saw. Well, I had an older
Somebody else's brother.
I pushed him. I was like, "You can
It's
do that."
Cleveland, Ohio.
I had an older sister.
I had a good feeling about that place.
I had an older sister who died in college from eating too many pancakes. That bitch ate 3 to 4. Done.
Mm-hmm.
Done. How many pancakes do you think I could eat? Knowing me.
I think the first 15 you won't even notice. You'll just inhale them.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe 10 more.
I think I'd have a mental breakdown really early on because I think I was fat.
You'll just hate yourself. You can eat 35, but you'll just hate yourself on the second one.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
you'll eat one more, and I will just see how angry you get.
Yeah.
And then you'll just murder somebody by the end of the 6th pancake.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I don't do eating challenges. I'm too insecure about my body.
I kind of now want to do this challenge with you.
You can't split the eating challenge. It's one person. There's like a dumpling challenge that I know of. There's a bunch of pho challenges, which I think would be fucked up.
I would do a dumpling challenge.
That would be the one I would most do because they're tasty, and I feel like it'd be
They're
the
quite
least
light, actually.
Yeah, it'd be the least aggressive on your stomach. The pho challenge seems awful because you'd be so thirsty and you couldn't get rid of that thirst.
I feel like
It
anything
would hurt.
slimy feels good. Like, because every time
Yeah.
we talk about it, I keep on doing
Well, it's
this.
a hot dog eating contest.
Like, I kind of want the food that goes.
You know how they eat the hot dogs in the hot dog eating contest? Usually they.
I can imagine.
That's one ex-stripper.
Sword swallowing.
Actually, she has to be on her knees and they feed it through a hole in a wall.
Shoot it.
It's actually a Serbian girl who's here. Is it?
Of course.
Why is there a website called Czech Casting Couch? Why do so many Czech women go into porn?
I've never seen
Or
this
prostitution.
website.
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Where did you? Who told you?
It's a friend.
Have you seen a Ukrainian couch?
No, are there any left?
They're all in Russia now,
Yeah.
or in Canada.
Now it's Russian Casting Couch. Slava.
Yeah, they're unpaid.
Are you guys gonna win?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I mean, depends on what constitutes win, but yeah, for sure. At least in their minds, like the Ukrainian people need that kind of thing. Like, they will think they won. They will choose not to look into an actual numbers of the win.
Fuck, marry, kill Putin, Xi Jinping, Joe Biden.
Who was the second one?
Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping.
Who this?
The Chinese prime minister.
He's really.
Yeah.
You see, I'm so far removed from politics. I don't actually know.
They're a big country, China.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. I mean, Chinese.
Be
Yeah.
careful. Be careful.
Wait, who was the? There was Biden. There was a Chinese guy
And Putin.
and Putin. Oh. Marry Biden.
Green card, easy.
Yes. And also no questions asked afterwards.
True.
Kill Putin. Not because of the whole war conflict,
Right.
but because I don't think he's the real one. I think he's a fucking double robot pretender. And I guess, yeah, fuck the Chinese guy.
Okay.
I'm just gonna objectify him till the end. I don't care about his political agenda.
Fair.
What about you?
Of those three?
Yeah.
Marry Xi Jinping, then I am in control of one of the largest up-and-coming superpowers on Earth.
You see, you have no romantic sense at all.
Just kill Joe Biden for chaos. And I'm gonna fuck the double of Putin because he's probably gay and, maybe he's got some moves.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Yeah, I like that.
I want to sow chaos.
Yeah.
Well, that was a great episode.
I mean,
Continue.
if you kill him, though, I won't be able to get my green card.
Well, I don't think both of us get the same thing at the same time. That would be killing two major world leaders in a week.
You said you wanted chaos.
That'd be quick.
We can work in
if we
teams.
were both doing it, at the same time,
Then we will have. Okay, I'll take care of Putin.
well, you can.
You'll have to find somebody else to fuck. That's maybe we can double team
That's
the
what I was
Chinese
thinking.
guy.
That's what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because then that way, then we do have leverage. Then
Well, the smartest move
you
would
don't
be
need to.
the smartest move would be to we triple marry Joe Biden.
Triple marry? You mean invite the Chinese guy to marry him too?
We murder the shit out of Putin, and then we double team Chinese man, so he loses credibility. Russia's dunzo, and then we're in a real. Then we could probably win the next Democratic election because Biden's too old, and we would be triple gay.
We'll be stepping on his face with our feet all the time.
That's hot. We'd be the most liberal candidate, and it's a man and a woman, so we have more power, and we would run as the first thruple candidacy in American history.
So who's the third?
You mean Biden?
I thought he's just there, laying on the floor all the time, sucking toes.
He'll probably go away, and then it's just you and me.
He'll be there to sign things, like,
Have you ever seen him give speeches?
Yeah, he's a little bit...
he's very confused. He has dementia.
Yeah.
He has he has like a whole compilation. The American media doesn't portray him like they did Trump. Trump was a, dumbass.
They just laughed.
And we would laugh, but we would show every time he had a slip up. Every single time he miscommunicated, we showed it.
That's why
we hide every single time.
This is so funny to me because, this whole democratic...
Oh, I hit the fly! Look, and there's a little blood.
Killing spree.
If you're listening...
Don't you care about the environment? Do you know about the butterfly effect? Oh my god.
Flies. That was probably
so listen to this
really quick, if you're listening, there was a fly sitting on my knee, and I hit it really... I don't like that attitude, and I hit it really quick. Anyways, continue. Go on.
I was talking about the democracy in the United States. It's funny to me that it kind of changed from the democratic point of view, and every opinion matters, into if your opinion is a little bit deviated from the blue one, then we'll just shame you and not show it, and we'll whitewash everything that is democratic. Like, it's funny to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's not two poles anymore. Like, nobody wants a Republican argument anymore, it seems like.
I mean, the right does. But yeah, the difference is that...
Yeah, but since the media is a little bit...
The difference is that socially, everything has become liberal. There's nothing social or in the media that is not
I don't know if we're stepping, like, towards the end of this episode, if we're stepping on the right soil.
That's completely true. Nobody can argue that.
No, I'm not arguing. I'm saying...
No, I mean, anyone who sees that or listens, name one TV show. Go ahead. Name a music artist that's popular. Name anything that is popular that isn't Fox News that is conservative.
Maybe some musicals, but we wouldn't know about
all those conservative musicals. Hamilton, but the slaves are still around. Wicked, but I'm actually going to stop with the joke.
I want to know if there is a musical theater in San Luis Obispo.
I thought we agreed we don't like musicals.
But while you were in San Luis Obispo,
why would you see a musical in San Luis Obispo?
That's exactly why.
We were just in Broadway.
It will be local.
I hate that.
It will be better than any Broadway thing you've seen.
That's so wrong.
There will be 4 people in the audience.
That's the worst. They're going to be looking at us.
And we'll be giggling.
I hate that.
Come on.
They're going to be like, I didn't know that you'd be giggling so much at Amadeus.
If you're a musical artist who can prove Dennison wrong, please DM Dennison. Send him your dick pic and tell him that...
Stop the dick pics. I'm getting so goddamn many dick pics. Why do men send dick pics?
I always wondered
I've never sent an unsolicited dick pic, and I've only been asked a couple times, and I was like, what are you doing with it?
It's like men exposing themselves to women on the beach.
Is it a power thing?
No, I think they just want the reaction. It doesn't need to be positive or negative. It's either is good. I don't know.
Have you been
I've seen too many dick pics in real life.
Have you been sent unsolicited dick pics?
I've never been sent dick pics, period.
Good.
Like maybe a couple when I asked, but when I agreed to see one. But I've seen too many men's dicks in real life, in disturbingly close proximity to my face or my body.
You mean that you didn't want there?
No.
Where, at the beaches?
At the beaches, on the rocks. A lot of the rocks.
The rocks?
Like they consider the rocks. So I lived in Athens in Greece.
Yeah.
And there are a few beaches that are... They're just like a lot of rocks that people go to.
There's just piles of rocks that men sit and pull their dick out?
Well,
Is it known?
It is known, but at
There's
the time...
There's a specific pile of rocks where men are like...
It's a very extended pile of rocks, okay? And it's the most beautiful place, and you go there to be alone in solitude. But what I didn't know is that it's a place where men go and be alone in solitude.
This question is... So you were invading their space. Men have nowhere to brood.
Of course,
so
there
men
you go.
found
A
men
woman
found,
is a problem.
They found a pile of rocks. No, let's think about this for a minute.
They found their oasis.
No, let's think about this for a minute.
Oasis.
No woman would ever see a pile of gross rocks and say,
"It's not
okay. This is where I want." That's a man move. A man would say, "That's a great pile of rocks for me to sit in and think." So they finally found a spot, and like anything, white women co-opted the man-safe space. So you have a group of hairy, jobless Grecians sitting on a pile of rocks, and then you guys all come down, and they're just like playing with their dicks, and then you're like, "Ew!" And they're like, "No, somewhere else."
Literally, that's what one man did.
Really? Wait, did he tell you to leave?
I was on a perfect pile of rock. I was there first.
How many piles of rocks are there?
It's massive. It's
Sit
extended.
in the sand.
You know how the water was a bit higher before? How all the mountains we see, it was all underwater before?
In Greece? What, you mean 12 billion years ago?
Yes, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know that. What does that have to do with the rocks now?
I'm trying to explain how extended the rocks were.
There's a lot of rocks.
Yes.
All right.
The cliffs.
Are they cliffs or are they moving on?
Oh God! Can you learn geology so we are on the same page?
I know
with
what
this?
rocks are. That's not geology. You didn't say the type of rock. There's a pile.
Limestone.
Look, this is about
can you
guys
shut up
pulling their
and
dicks
listen?
out.
It
Go ahead.
is about. Can I
go
finish?
Mm-hmm.
I was there first. I was sitting on my rock. There was a little pool of water, and then the general sea.
What were you doing on your rock?
I was sitting there looking around,
Okay.
enjoying the solitude that this rock provided to myself.
So at the time you were alone.
I was alone.
Yeah.
This man comes over and he's looking, and in the back of my head I feel the asshole is gonna sit right there in front of me. He did, and it's a nudist beach, right? Like, I'm naked, he's naked, that's fine. So, on the pile of rock I sit, and I realize I shouldn't be looking that direction. Like, that's my horizon, but I only look to the half of it. And then one moment I decide that it's time, I face it, I turn a little bit, like 45 degrees more to the right. The man, and again, he's sitting maybe like 2 meters away from me over.
He's close.
He's very close. And I see him doing the thing he's doing, and I start yelling in English at the time, because my Greek wasn't very good, so I didn't want to ridicule myself by swearing in Greek. And I start yelling in English, and like people swim by, and I'm like on the rock, and I gesticulate. Is this I do that. He gesticulates himself.
So he was gesticulating on the rocks.
He was gesticulating on me. I was gesticulating onto him. And then the weirdest thing that man has done, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why are you like invading my freedom? You're cutting my freedom with your gesticulation. And he did not say a word. He literally it was so creepy. He showed me my eyes, and then his eyes, and then said, like, basically meaning like, I don't ask you to look, so shut up. Then he pointed on his mouth and did this, and kept on doing this. And then I looked closer, I zoomed in, and he had a ring on his finger too.
So this was his jack-off spot.
It was traumatizing to me.
So this guy was married. Hang on. So the guy's
I feel
married.
so bad now already.
The guy's
please
married.
Continue.
And he said he can't jack off in his own house. So he went to his jack-off
I was there
rock.
first. The moral of the story is I was there gesticulating first.
But he went to masturbate on a specific rock. It was the rock he loves. So he probably went down there.
Again, we're talking. You don't understand how extended the mass of these rocks are. You can find any spot you want.
If I go to like my favorite bar, I have the seat I like. And I go in and there's somebody sitting next to it.
Are you going to gesticulate on top of some woman's face just because she's in your seat?
Consensually. But so if somebody's... Look, he didn't... You were in his seat. You were just close. And I know in this guy's head, he was like, fuck. He sees his rock, and he's like, this fucking bitch. And he's like, I don't want to...
He was prepared. I should give him that. He had an umbrella and everything.
He didn't come for you. And he was like, you know what? No. What's a typical Apollo?
Okay.
What's like a shitty Greek name for a man? Like a gross Greek guy?
Dimitris,
you've had a long week. Your wife is giving you shit at home. You deserve the jack-off rock. And just because she's right there, today this is for you. It's like going to the movie on your own. You're like, no, I'm not going to... They're going to laugh at me. I don't care. I know they're going to do it.
Imagine if every man
I'm not
in
done.
every given situation had
Let me
your...
just finish. And so then
your
he goes.
reasoning.
So he goes to his rock, and he starts jacking off, not even looking at you. He's just like, I'm doing
Oh,
this.
he was looking. I saw him.
Demetrius, this is my day.
I was talking right to him.
Demetrius, this is my day. And then from behind, he starts hearing, "Fuck you! You're invading my space!" And he goes,
He's
Don't look at me.
He's not from behind. He's right there where you are sitting, and I'm right
"Ooh,
here.
all right, that's a little different."
Only a little pile of water in between
So he was sitting
us.
right in front of you,
Yes, and he chose this spot when I was already
and he brought
on
an
my
umbrella,
rock.
huh?
He had an umbrella. He was prepared. He was about to gesticulate there for a long time in the middle of the day
Is this
under
why
the
Greece
Greek
is a
sun.
failed economy because men spend their time leaving their wives to go jack off on rocks by the ocean?
I think that's what it is. They're very happy about the sun. They always say that. You're like, how is the economy in your country? They're like, well, we got the sun. That's their answer. If only we didn't have the sun.
Right.
That's all they say. And one man once told me, you know, everything you hear about the sun, that's not true. We are miserable people indeed. Even the sun does not help us.
I just picture a guy getting in a fight with his wife, and he's just like, "I'm going for a walk," and she's like, "You're going to the rocks." He's like, "Maybe I am going to the rocks. Maybe if you touched me a little bit more, I wouldn't have to go to the rocks with Demetrius. I'm getting my umbrella."
Honestly, every single guy on those rocks was a guy. There were no women. That's why I stopped going. I went like 3 times.
Because you went to the male masturbation rocks.
Yeah,
go
but-
to your own place.
but nobody
You invaded a
says
safe
they-
male space.
I was new to the country, okay? I did
That
not
must
know.
have been the best kept secret. Is you were like, "I go to these rocks," and they were like, "Don't go to those rocks." There's
Nobody
a lot of
told
areas.
me.
There's a lot of places you can go, but don't go to those rocks.
I was that close to being traumatized, but I withstood.
You
Withstood, I did.
So that was mostly it. All the unsolicited dicks you saw were in Greece at nude beaches and rocks,
Yeah.
where a suspiciously large amount of men would all go to masturbate together.
Pretty much.
Great.
I looked trouble right in the eye.
Well, Lisa, it's been a pleasure having you on.
Thank you for having me
the
over
first episode.
and listening to stories
And I guess we'll figure out this week as we adventure
as we
around
explore SLO.
the United States a little more. Is there anything you want to plug? Are you going to get your photography started?
I am, yes. I'm gonna take photos of you first, and I never take photos of people.
Are you really going to take photos of me?
I might, because whatever you have on your Instagram is dog shit. You have a face which is angry and nobody will pay for. And that was all, folks.
I'm
Thank
going
you
to
so
the rocks.
much.
It's rock
This is
time.
America. Too many rules. You can't do this.
You have been listening to the Nope Sleep Tour side project. Dennison and Liza explore the United States, i.e., insert town name here. Or is it just insert town name?
Insert town name. ITN.
Sounds like
Hashtag.
a alt-right news network.
ITN? Sounds very Russian to me. Sounds like some sort of a fund by an oligarch that is hiding in England. And is upset that his house cannot be bought back.
Well,
That this was unnecessary.
if you don't support the show, you don't support Ukraine. And
That's right.
We're done.